Welcome back to Hardball. Abortion remains a hot-button issue in this country, and it was brought up in last night's debate. Watch this exchange between Barack Obama and John McCain.
With respect to partial birth abortion, I am completely supportive of a ban on late-term abortions, partial birth or otherwise, as long as there's an exception for the mother's health and life. And this did not contain that exception.
Just again, the example of the eloquence of Senator Obama. He's health of the mother. You know, that's been stretched by the pro-abortion movement in America to mean almost anything. That's the extreme pro-abortion position, quote, health.
Well, there's been some reaction from women on John McCain using air quotes, as they're called, on health for the mother. Let's get some more from CECILE Richards, who's president of Planned Parenthood Action Fund, and Barbara Comstock, a John McCain supporter. Let me start with Cecile. I guess the health exception, we understand it well from Roe v. Wade. It gives, even in the case of a late-term situation, a woman, if her health is threatened by carrying a baby to term or a fetus to term, however you want to word it, that she has that option of having that procedure. An abortion. John McCain said that's overused, that term. He made fun of the term health. What do you make of that?
Well, I think it was an incredibly telling moment. What he was talking about is what is the law of the land under the Supreme Court, as you say. I think it showed a complete lack of regard for women's health, for mothers' health, and it really followed on his entire career in Congress. In 26 years in Congress, he's voted against women's health 125 times, including very basic issues like affordable birth control, support for family planning, and even when he was asked by a reporter, couldn't say whether or not he supported insurance coverage for birth control, even though he'd voted against it twice. I think this really was simply in keeping with John McCain's record as being very out of touch on women's health issues.
Barbara, what do you make of his use of those quotes in the air by saying the health of the mother in terms of the exception where you are permitted to have the procedure or abortion late term?
Well, first of all, let's understand about the partial birth abortion ban that passed was supported by overwhelming Senate, including people like Tom Daschle, Joe Biden, Dick Gephardt, and remember back when it was first passed in the 90s, Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan supported it without the health exception because he likened it to infanticide. You've got to understand that there's never a health reason to do this particular procedure.
No, we're talking about a late-term abortion, period.
I know, and so you never need to do the particular this particular
right, no,
procedure.
That's a side issue. What about having a late-term abortion if there's a health threat? What about that? Where do you stand?
Well, you can if you have a health problem and you need to deliver, you can always go and deliver. What he wanted to do with the partial birth abortion ban is assure a dead baby is delivered. That's what the whole partial birth abortion thing is about. And I would quote to you from Warren Hearn.
But why do you keep talking about partial birth abortion? I want to ask you about a late-term abortion, which is permitted under Roe v. Wade. No, it's permitted under Roe v. Wade if there's a danger to the health of the mother.
No, if there's a danger to health to the mother, you go in and you have a procedure. You are not guaranteed a dead baby when you deliver in an early procedure. Chris, if you're 9 months pregnant and you have to go in early before you've gone into labor, they deliver a baby. They don't go in and execute and I don't want to describe the gruesome partial birth.
I understand Roe v. Wade. Correct me if I'm wrong. I want to start with Cecile and I want to go back to Barbara. I want to make a very simple statement. There's a health of the mother exception that permits an abortion in late term.
Partial birth abortion.
I'm not even talking about partial birth. Stop bringing up that issue. Let's please talk about the right of a woman under Roe v. Wade to a late-term abortion when there's a health situation. Please explain, Cecile.
Well, there is a protection for women's health and life, and that's been under the Supreme Court. It's been the law of the land for decades now, and that's what I think Senator McCain was questioning. But I think the real point, I thought Senator Obama made this point very well last night. The American people, this is a divisive issue. It's a very personal, private issue. And what really the American people want to see is a focus on getting to the root of the problem in this country, which is we have the highest unintended pregnancy rate and teen pregnancy rate in the Western industrialized world. There's so much we can do to come together to support affordable family planning, to support information for young people, to support insurance coverage for birth control. Those are the kinds of things that could reduce unintended pregnancy and the need for abortion. John McCain has opposed every single one of them his entire career, and that really, to me, is the issue.
Barbara, I'm just going to ask you, do you think that the court should get rid of the health exception in Roe v. Wade?
The court, listen, I think Roe versus Wade should be overturned and the states should decide it. But Barack Obama thinks that we should overturn all of the state laws we have right now that allow, he's for federal funding of abortion, taxpayer funding of abortion. He was against that Born Alive Act. He has the most extreme position. He wanted to let, if a baby's born alive, he said, and I quote, if this is a child, you know, the baby born alive, well, then it's an anti-abortion statute, so he has to be against it. That is a radically extreme position that most other Democrats don't support. But Cecile and Planned Parenthood, you know, he's bought and paid for with them. He has said he wants to pass the Freedom of Choice Act, one of his first bills he wants to sign, which would allow for everyone to get a paid-for abortion. It would overturn all those statutes that ban funding. No more parental consent laws or notification. That is an extreme position, and the press has been ignoring that. And I know you want to ignore that and talk about
Barbara,
things that are not issues.
Your point is, you just made a charge there. You said that Barack Obama has been bought and paid for by what, Planned Parenthood? Yes. Was that your charge?
Yeah, he supports all of their extreme bills. He has said, I want to sign the Freedom of Choice Act as the first bill. He has said, I'm your guy. Right. That's why more than we're supporting him than Hillary, because he's 110% when she was only
Cecile,
about 95.
Did you buy and pay for Barack Obama? That's the charge here.
With respect, Barbara.
Is there anything he opposes that you
Barbara,
support?
I think it's, Barbara.
He doesn't oppose anything.
I think it's my turn. I think it's my turn,
okay.
Barbara.
That's by Cecile, please.
Yeah. Over 5 million people come to Planned Parenthood every year. 1 in 4 women in America has been to Planned Parenthood in their lifetime for some kind of health services, and 97% of the health services we provide are for prevention, to prevent unintended pregnancy and the need for abortion. And what we're simply saying is we wish John McCain was more focused on women's health, on preventing unintended pregnancy in the first place, and bringing this country together rather than dividing it. I heard nothing from John McCain last night about what he wanted to do to support women's health care, and that's what I think is at issue.
Okay, thank you very much, Cecile Richards, and thank you, Barbara Constant. I believe that John McCain made a mistake last night by making light of the health concerns of women. Up next, new revelations about the other big star in last night's debate, a fellow named